Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of UNISTEM, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the second International Research Conference on Management Studies. This year, our theme, Shaping the Business Future, Trends and Insights for Tomorrow, invites us to explore forward-looking ideas and innovations in business management. Today, we are privileged to have an esteemed lineup of speakers and panelists who will share their insights and expertise on the trends shaping the future of our business. So, without further ado, let us begin with the lighting of the traditional oil lamp to symbolize knowledge, enlightenment, and the bright future of our collective endeavors. And to lighten the oil lamp, I would like to cordially invite Vice Chancellor of UNISTEM, Emeritus Professor Indrulal De Silva, Director CEO Mr. Gihan Thalgodapitiya, Chief Operations Officer Ms. Vatsala Nanayakara, and keynote speaker for today Mr. Sasanka Pereira, and guest speaker of today Mr. Nuwan Gamage, Professor Bandula Palawatha, and Mr. Rohan Pandita Koralage, Mr. Manon Pereira, and Conference Chair Dr. Rajitha Silva, Conference Secretary Ms. Subhani De Silva, Manager of Quality Ms. Lakmali Vijayasinghe, Manager Operations Ms. Pamoda Harshani, and Ms. Sachini Williams, representing our visiting lecturers of UNISTEM and one of our students. Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. Up next, to officially welcome you to this year's conference, please join me in inviting Dr. Rajitha Silva, Chair of IRCMS 2024, to deliver the welcome address.
Thank you very much. Very good morning to all of you, all the participants. I think it is my duty to welcome you all for this wonderful occasion. And also, this is going to be one of the memorable occasions for UNISTEM. And first of all, I would like to welcome our keynote speaker, Sasanka Pereira. And he is attached to 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒, Lanka Milk Food Group CEO. And I think your presence here is a real privilege for us. And the blessings of this particular merits of this event will goes on to our participants with your remarkable contribution for this particular event with your keynote speak. And also same time, Mr. Nuwan Gamage, I think your initiation and support by participating for this wonderful event, especially enlightening our participants as well as all our presenters, is a great contribution, and we would like to welcome you, sir. That is going to be one of the great achievement, I think, for UNISTEM point of view. And also the pillar of success at all the time, Mr. Gihan, now who is the initiator of this UNISTEM, the journey starting from HRMI, long way back, and developing and real change agent in the process. I think you also welcome to this, even though you are internal part of it. And also same time, we have our Vice Chancellor, Professor Indrada Silva, the Emeritus Professor, and his guidance as well as his initiation in order to develop research culture, contribution to enhance the inculcate the thinking patterns for academia as well as excellence in intellectual capacity building is great. I think his contribution for these kind of events inside the university system, especially state universities, as well as all other different levels of contribution is great, and we would like to welcome you, sir. And also same time, we have Ms. Vatsala Nanayakara. I think her contribution for any kind of event, I think I don't have to tell you because all the participants are stakeholders of this institute. Then I think we know, what she can do and what she has done. Then therefore, I would like to welcome you, Vatsala, on behalf of conference committee. And also, our participants, especially your dedication as well as your initiation to submit your papers and also gone through with this rigorous evaluation process, and also like making necessary changes and resubmitting all these contribution. I think today you have gone to the success and you are making your presentation. Some of you may be basically first time you are making this presentation, and this will be an encouragement for you to go ahead and make other remarkable presentations as well as become a part of the community of knowledge creation. And that is going to be a great opportunity. And guiding all these, I think our staff, the different personalities who has contributed to guide these students as well as researchers to go ahead and develop these research as well as articles, converting them into presentable materials. Now, I think your contribution also really great. All of you are welcome for this. And also, I think today with us, there are different personalities from corporates as well as board members and academics at different levels, very senior academics who are contributors to UNISTEM. And well-wishers, all of you welcome to this event. I know for sure today, when you are spending even a single minute over here, you'll be getting something for your knowledge creation as well as to inculcate some sort of a thinking. I think there will be a keynote speech, then guest speech by Mr. 𝐂𝐻𝐿. I think, if you carefully listen and if you just give your serious attention on these, then you will be going out of this hall with another research idea, I'm pretty sure. Then what you can do, be careful, be alert, and get your maximum into this. And also on behalf of academic community, I would like to say something, because I think this is a conference season in state universities. And also same time, being a private education institute, the contribution as well as initiation, as long as this is going to be second international conference, as conference chair, I would like to highlight this fact, because this is going to be very much a remarkable kind of a contribution from private education institute, providing guidance as a direction for research. I think there is a long way to go, but this starting point, celebrating second international conference, it is a great achievement, as well as that contribution to the academia is really admirable. Now these are the main points I just wanted to say. Then there are so much to come. I think best things are yet to come. Then you will be enjoying whole day. And thank you so much for participating in this inauguration ceremony. And finally, on behalf of the conference committee, I would like to welcome all of you, all the contributors, participants, well-wishers, academics, and corporate members, and everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajitha, for those inspiring words. It means a lot to us. So I think as an academia, as part of an academia, I think we cannot forget the guidance provided by our Vice Chancellor in arranging and handling this year's conference, IRCMS 2024. So it is an honor for me to introduce Emeritus Professor Indrilal De Silva, our Vice Chancellor of UNISTEM, to address this distinguished gathering.
Well, good morning to all of you. I warmly welcome all of you to the second international conference on this UNISTEM. In fact, last year we had a first international conference. This time we are going to have the second one. And let me first thank for all the members who are participating, and Mr. Gihan Thalgodapitiya, and CEO UNISTEM, and also our keynote speaker, Mr. Sasanka Pereira, Group CEO and Lanka Milk Foods, and also our guest speaker, Mr. 𝐂𝐻𝐿, Head Marketing, Arinma Holdings, and also Dr. Rajitha, the conference chair, and also Professor Palavatta, and also all the members of the management committee of the UNISTEM, and also all the staff UNISTEM, as well as special invitees and abstract presenters, and also dear students. In fact, I thought it may be worthwhile to make a presentation about the research rather than making a story about what is happening in the country. Or therefore, the student point of view, particularly the presenters, I thought that I should make a presentation as a senior researcher, and this is I title as Research Thoughts. And of course, you will be finding this presentation, I have allocated about 15 minutes, and you will notice that you will gather research information as well as some other items also. Well, what is meant by research? Of course, we know that some of the scientists work in a laboratory. For example, during the COVID-19, a lot of laboratories work to find out vaccine for the COVID-19, or some of you may be collecting data to understand the impact of a particular problem, right? Impact of a particular problem. Therefore, economic recession and student migration. Now, because of the economic recession, large number of students are migrating abroad. Then third, research, a somewhat intimidating term for some, is simply the process of finding solutions to a particular problem. Understanding a particular process after thorough study and analysis of the situational factors. Therefore, sometimes, particularly the private sector, once they identify a particular problem, they want to find out why that problem occurred and also what kind of solution can be provided, and also they try to understand the entire process. Since this particular organization is largely work on the management discipline, well, managers or decision makers constantly engage themselves in studying and analyzing issues and hence are involved in some form of research activity as they make decisions. Now, not only in Sri Lanka, almost all the countries, the managers or the decision makers, they have to make decisions at the workplace. It may be the government ministers or the secretaries or private sector senior members. Well, sometimes managers make good decisions, no doubt about that. And you have to think about your own decisions. And the problem gets solved. Once they get correct solution, the problem gets solved. But sometimes make blunders. It may be applied to the state level to below to any level, including universities also. The difference between making good decisions and committing blunders lies how managers go ahead about the decision-making process. Whether the managers, once they are making decision, are they doing in a rightful manner? That is the question. Now, these are the few questions I want to ask, particularly from our student group, masters, and our undergraduate group. Why do we have to do research? Why? Why it is important to do research? How to do research? Of course, our master's candidates, they will say that that's why we have joined the program, to understand how to do the research. But of course, forget about the third question. Why do we have to do research? And why it is important to do research? Let us see here. Why do we have to do research? By doing scientific research, we are expected to expand the existing knowledge base and any discipline, theoretically or applied level. If you take any scientific era, like even you take nuclear physics, there is existing amount of knowledge already exists, right? Manufacturing management, existing knowledge already exists. But doing research, we try to add something into the existing knowledge in a scientific manner and a systematic manner. But the second question is a very important one. Why it is important to do research? Research results findings will be extremely useful for the decision-making process. Research results are very important for decision-making. In many countries, policymakers have used research information for the decision-making process. When the decisions are based on the research findings, that decisions was found to bring expected results. Suppose your decisions are based on the research findings over the time, then your expectations are going to be fulfilled. Let me take an example of South Korea and Sri Lanka. This is some sort of my own discipline, health and demography kind of idea, but if you look at the table in the right-hand corner, the point is very clear. Life expectancy at birth, how long we can live, kind of idea. 1962, Sri Lankan person can live on average 63 years. How about South Korea? 1962, they were able to live only about 55 years on average. Therefore, you can see that the graph, right-hand side bottom, Sri Lankan was able to live 8 years. Sri Lanka was 8 years ahead of Korea by 1962. But what is the story in year 2022? Sri Lankan life expectancy increased to 77. How about Korea? 83. Therefore, you can see the top of the right hand corner. Korean life expectancy is 83. That means they are 6 years ahead of us. But 62, they were 8 years below us. Now what that means? Life expectancy is a proxy variable that capture the overall development of a country. And overall development is contributed by the private sector, semi-government, state sector, universities, industries, everyone. Now the question, the blue two questions, which country has made the correct decisions to improve the life expectancy and the overall development of that country? Sri Lanka or South Korea? Which country has made the correct decisions and implemented them in a rightful manner? Probably South Korea was very good. South Korea was Sri Lanka also, we have some particular pockets we call etana hariyatama Korea wage. In Morato there is a particular place we call Korea. All the slums are there. Therefore people call Korea. Metana thamai Korea. Right? But now Korea has so much different. I have been to Korea many times and I have done some research with the Korean scientists. Now, therefore it is very important for you to understand why we failed. Our policymakers, decision makers never consulted, never observed, never done sometime any research and take very haphazard or very blunders kind of approaches. Now how to manage problems and challenges that may arise during the research process. Now it's particularly important for our masters and researchers how to manage the problems and challenges that may arise during the research process. Your experience will be very vital. It is very vital, no doubt about that. Now let me give you another simple idea. The researcher should be a very good or effective communicator or negotiator. Sri Lankan system, our state system or even the universities or private sector, negotiations parts are very poor, I would say. That's how the South Korea, India, Singapore and many countries, their negotiations are very strong and they have all the information they require. Now another simple point, if you financing for research and development, Sri Lanka roughly about 25 million allocated for research and development in 2022. From the GDP, it was only 0.1. Therefore, university staff some time back demanded 6% increase, but it is of course too much, but we demanded more, thinking that at least 2% will be given. But still it is 0.1. But if you go to Singapore, India, that is well above 5%, right? Business, enterprises, they contribute 43% of the research and development in Sri Lanka. Higher education sectors, only about 28%. Now, story of a strong negotiator, facilitator. Through our research culture, even though our current research culture is quite poor, I would say, coming from the leading university in Sri Lanka, University of Colombo, I would say still our research culture is very poor. It was at a higher level in the past, no doubt. If you look at our indigenous, whatever they have produced, whatever they are, manufactured in the past, that was quite strong. Well, I would like to give a little story about King Dutugamunu, King D. Very strong war hero as well as very effective negotiator. When he was building Ruanveli Mahasaya, Ruanveli Pagoda, he encountered with a serious problem. What was the problem? Whether any of you know? Does any of you know what was the problem that King Dutugamunu faced when he was building what do you call this, Ruanveli Mahasaya? His structural engineers were trying to lay down the foundation. The structural engineers found that there was a big tree and they tried to remove that one. In Sinhala, I think that is called Ran Telugu tree. Therefore, it was very difficult to remove. Then they tried to understand why it is very difficult to remove. They found that that was occupied by the goddess called Swarnamali. Therefore, they asked from the Swarnamali, can you please leave? Karunakala not in English, in Sinhala. But she said, no, no way. I am so powerful, no one can chase me away. She stayed there. Then they complained to the King 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿, right? King 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿 approached that particular place and she negotiated with the Swarnamali. How she negotiated? That's a very important. Now, research is a very good communicator. Research is every time you should be a very good communicator. Look at how King 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿 was successful in that particular agenda. That's how he was able to build what you call this large pagoda. I think that is the largest pagoda in our country. Therefore, what he said, whatever he said, lyric writer 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒𝐓𝐄𝐌 has produced a song there, and W.D. Amardev has sang this song. If you try to understand this particular song, whatever the message gone there, how we approach is the most important. If you don't know this particular song, but most probably all of you know this one. Obe namin saya bandimi vimanen basinu manavi. Obe namin saya bandimi vimanen basinu manavi. Swarnamaliye Rubara Swarnamaliye Swarnamaliye. I don't know whether King 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿 has presented like this, but I came to know how that has been manufactured in the music industry, right? Therefore, music is, and the television industry, music industry, film industry is one of the biggest industry in the world, captured billions of youth and all the people in your house. Therefore, that is how the good negotiator approach, right? Therefore, he was intelligent how to appreciate a particular goddess, and then he knows that he can win-win situation. Finally, she left that particular Telugu tree and he was able to build the house. But the problem, I want to tell you the problem also. But this song was produced long time back. But our film industry, our music culture, if you look at the song, what I am referring to is the right hand, the bottom. Now look at the lyric writers, what they do, lyric writers, Padarachakya. If you look at the first verse of this song, Anam Suranganak Veniya, Bonna Venne Dhammika Paniya. Innata Ba Mang Me Kaudinatu. Kella Natu. That's how lyric writer has produced. But if you remember how that was produced, how much literal ideas has presented, but here how poor our lyric writers right now. Song is good, music is good, vocal colors are very good, but the problem is what is the message given by this particular song. Therefore here Dhammika Paniya means it is not a Dhammika Paniya exactly, it is alcohol. Bonna Venne, alcohol, whenever they use, because they can't use the word alcohol, the matpan in a song. Therefore they use Dhammika Paniya. Therefore I think if you look at the songs produced some time back, every time in my dreams I feel you, I see you, or Hindi or Sinhala, Sen Suran Ralle, or Juada Kyao Nibana Padega, all are giving people to think about, through the music culture. But unfortunately today we are observing our music culture is so poor. Finally, why I mention all these things? It is very straightforward. All the managers here and all our staff and our student body, everybody is having stress. Everybody is having stress. That's why I slightly changed my presentation. Music as a medicine. Well, when I was at the Harvard School of Public Health, we visit the medical school very frequently, and we know that music is having very strong impact on the reducing your stress. But the best way of reducing your stress is the playing a particular musical instrument, or even just tapping a desk and sing a song. I know that most of you tend to go to the washroom and sing a song. Yes or no? At the washroom, when the shower is, you sing a song. But once you come outside, you never sang a song, right? But the best is, according to Harvard Medical School, the simple one. You can try and think about and try to get the words, rhythmic structure, vocal colors as much as you can, and try to sing a song. Or if you can best, you can play a guitar or tap on a desk, and then you see that your stress can be removed, or tai chi, or dancing, and walking, and also possible. Therefore, having said all those things, I don't think I should tell you many things, but given 15 minutes, I try to talk to you. And finally, I wish you all the best to our presenters, and wish you good luck to all of you. And we will see you all in the presentation time. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Indralal. Thank you, Professor Indralal, for sharing your vision of research and its role in shaping future leaders in our country. And now we cannot forget the ultimate guiding light of UNISTEM, who always motivate us to be better, to be greater. Up next, we are privileged to hear from Mr. Gihan Thagodapitiya, the Director and CEO of UNISTEM. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Professor Indralal de Silva, Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. Coming one down after Professor Indralal is like coming after Sanat Jayasuriya. If I had the slightest idea that Professor Indralal was going to sing a song, I would have practiced 1 year ago, because that is one of those things that I absolutely can't do. I hope I can be like Aravind coming one down. The topic we have today is, actually I'm not very used to talking behind a podium, because most of my life as a trainer and a lecturer, I had never used a podium. Anyway, I'll try. Shaping the business future, trends, insights for tomorrow. I try to use my usual way. I try to use a lot of graphics so that I try to convey the idea. I hope I can be heard. Yogi? Right. I try to convey the idea in some graphical, pictorial way. I always tell our young lecturers not to use crowded slides, but to fill them up with pictures, videos, clips, and so on. Now, when you look at this picture, what am I trying to communicate? Who would be my volunteer? Jimmy?
Why does that say that robotics?
Well, it depends on how you interpret. Well,
it looks like some kind of change.
I'm trying to show something very volatile, okay? Like a turbulent current. Because the topic we have is shaping the business future, trends and insights for tomorrow. Now today, we find we are in an absolutely turbulent environment. Very volatile, very uncertain, very complex, and absolutely ambiguous. One You are taking the. I'll stay here. If you, yeah, right. Okay. My colleague is called. Are you recording this and without? Right. Okay. You should have told me. Right. Okay. Now, very volatile. Don't look at the economy. Look at our young students. Absolutely volatile. Right. A couple of days ago, I found that even the TT table was not in the place that it was supposed to be. Right? So you find the young generation or whatever that we see around is totally different from what we have experienced. What is this volatility? Things are changing. Things are changing. What we have seen, say, there was a time that our parents used to say, when we were 25 years ago. Sorry. Right. Once upon a time it was like this. I remember I started teaching corporate planning those days for SEMA students in early 1980s. Those days, SWOT analysis was absolutely a theoretical exercise. But today you find the SWOT analysis is absolutely a practical exercise, because what we see today is not what's going to be tomorrow. So the whole world. Yesterday somebody has sent a little clip. In China, all these Uber fellows are going in unmanned, little like a tuk-tuk. I'm sure this would have gone viral a couple of days ago and you would have seen. Another guy committing suicide, jumping from the 8th floor. All this is part of the volatility that we can't come to terms with. And we are talking of AI. We have a huge challenge of getting you guys, the students, to put proper answers, because the answer is there in ChatGPT and AI. So all what we are talking about, the need to change the business future, is arising from an absolutely uncertain times. There was a time that we used to hero worship Michael Porter, sustainable competitive advantage. Michael Porter has come up with probably, I must keep a track of the time, otherwise at the end of the day, these guys will say I overran the time, which lecturers always do. Michael Porter has come up with, anybody who has done strategic planning, anybody who has done an MBA or whatever, about 15, 20 theories and probably another 25, 30 books on sustainable competitive advantage. How the hell can we talk of a sustainable competitive advantage? That means a competitive advantage we are trying to hold on to it. It can't be. It can't be. It can't be because of this volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous environment. Some of you, I believe, come from the confectionery sector. When we were kids, we never wanted to have low sugar, low fat biscuits. The things are changing. Things are changing. Those who have studied strategic planning, which I teach at the MBA classes here at UNISTEM, we now talk about Professor Rita McGrath, end of a competitive advantage, end of a sustainable competitive era. So what we are trying to do here in a conference like this is to draw your attention to the fact that we can't have the same sing-song that we have had 2 years ago, 5 years ago. The whole world is changing. Every 5 years I try to build a new campus. We are here last 6 months. And we try to change the whole thing. This time, we have even changed our focus, which I will talk about probably in the afternoon. So first thing is that we got to adopt ourselves to this VUCA world. VUCA world. This is a term coined in 1980s by US Army, got into the Harvard Business Review in 1991 or 92, and the last 10 years we have been focusing on how can we come to terms with this kind of volatility. How can we do that? There is so much of change taking place in technology. Everything is becoming AI. I remember about 5 years ago, Mr. 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿 Pereira, I was listening to him for a 45 minutes talk. The entire duration of that talk, he was saying AI, 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 AI. A lot of people in the audience would have thought, what the hell is this guy talking about? Aapke ahalawat nahe mein AI story again. Right? But today you find it's part and parcel of life. Part and parcel of life. Automation, different things happening around. Right? Consumer behavior has changed. I'm a vegetarian. Once upon a time, last 35 years I have been a vegetarian. There have been occasions that I have virtually starved. That situation is no more there. Because there's beyond meat, impossible meat, meat substitutes, vegetable meat substitute, any amount. The consumer behavior has changed. People think twice. I go for regular walks, including this morning, and there's a polymer for candor. The consumer behavior has changed. Thousands, a lot more people are more conscious about their lifestyles. A lot of people are more concerned about their eating patterns. So you find in this volatile environment, the technology is changing, the way we think is changing, the trends are changing. We have seen a huge political turmoil in this country the last couple of weeks. But before that, we had this economic crisis and all that. But there was some silver lining in this dark period. One is that when you walk into Kiehl's or Food City or something, there were no imported products. But during that period of time, the Sri Lankan products have really come up to a very high standard. I'm sure some of you who are in the FMCG industry would agree with me. There are a lot of eco products, a lot of natural products. Most of our packaging has come up to export standards. So even in a very adverse environment, we have seen some silver lining, which I believe we have to be happy. We have to be happy. What do we have to do to shape the business future? Driving innovation. One of the most difficult things to do. One of the most difficult things to do. Do something different. Think differently. Get out of your comfort zones. I talk about innovation very frequently. The need to do things differently. The most common example I tell public audiences is that make a pulsam ball differently. If I ask Subha, how do you make a pulsam ball? Tell me quickly, Subha, how do you make a pulsam ball? Pol?
Yes, we need coconut, chili.
Pulsam ball English in can bear Subha, single in can go. Pollo ne? Miso ne? Luntriya ko ne? ඔය මේ දවස්වල පොල් සම්පොල් හදනවද? බොහෝ විදිහට හදන්නේ. This is the way your mother would have taught you. This is the way your mother would have been taught by her mother. And maybe 10 generations before that. But if I ask the young students behind, not the front row, the young ones behind, how do you make an innovative pulsam ball? Can somebody get up and tell the answer? Yes, Rohan. You put celery. Naimeris. Tell me 10 things. Come on, soon. Audience. Celery, naimeris.
We can put marmite also.
Marmite. Yo. Marmite dan mukade mechara natural eco products thiyedde. Kamak ne atonnan dan. Come on. Fried garlic, okay. What else? You can put karpincha කොහොමද දානවා ඉස්සර ආච්චි දැම්මා කමන්නේ වෙන you can put takkali, you can put ඔය මොනවද minchi, you can put Dry fish, you can put tempura. You can add. If I had half an hour, I would have told you 50 things that you can add. Absolutely. But getting you guys to do an innovative pulsam ball will never happen. Mang හැමදාම කියන අල්ලපු ගෙදරින් innovative pulsam ball එකක් ඇවොත් මේ ගෙදරින් කවදාකවත් කන්නේ නැහැ කියලා. I hope you understood between the lines. Right. Right. So you find innovation is a huge challenge because people are in their comfort zones. We don't want to change. We don't want to do different things. I tell audiences, true enough, you can't change your husband frequently, but at least, and they depatta maaru vela nidaganne. Eතකොට at least you might feel some difference කියලා. If you have been sleeping on the right hand side, Professor Indrala olu wenuwa, I'm going to do that tonight කියලා. If you have been sleeping on the left hand side, get your wife to sleep on the left hand side, you will sleep on the right hand side. So you find you've got to do things differently. You've got to get out of this comfort zone. Even if you think of innovation, making it happen, transformation is a huge challenge, huge challenge. I'll get you to do a small exercise there in the morning. Can I request, very respectfully for you guys to follow your answer like this. Now, either right or left, Professor, right or left or right, right or left, left or right, right or left, left. Some of you are left or right, I'm left, left or right. Some of you are right or left. Now, may I ask you to change your pattern? If you are left or right, now right or left, and the other way about. This is transformation, and right? The moment I look right, you will come back to your comfort zone. That is the challenge of transformation. Getting people to do differently is an absolute challenge. ඊළඟ ප්‍රශ්නේ තමයි resilience. What is resilience? To get back. To demonstrate what resilience is, you need to have a tennis ball. I have a tennis ball down in my office. You need to put a tennis ball, dash the tennis ball on the ground, it jumps up. Right? That is resilience. Ability to get back. Ability to get back. In life, in business, as a nation, we will always go down, which we have seen it very frequently and very recently. Ability for us to jump back is resilience. I have heard Mr. Mahesh Amalin from MAS saying that is the most important characteristic for a business. We can't stop going down, but what we want is the ability to get back. How business can shape the future. 4 things I have mentioned here. Innovation and creativity. Innovation and creativity. That has to be a part of your lifestyle, culture. I went for a wedding 2 days ago to Bentur Beach Hotel. First, I went and had a mushroom soup, which is quite nice. When I finished the mushroom soup and got back, there was a big polymer for the buffet. Desert corner ke mokakkat kawuruwan no polling because everybody is now queuing for the main course. So I went to the dessert corner. I love fruits. I live on fruits most of the time. So I got a big plate, not the dessert plate, big plate, and filled it up with fruits. Okay? And then I finished my fruits. The main polymer was a lot less. So I went and had a look. Then I had enough fruits. I justified myself for some desserts because I have resisted the main meal. But looking at people in the table, you're not eating today. Now they are so stuck. Once I was doing a seminar on creativity and innovation, I told it was in some five-star hotel, I said, we are going to do things differently. You guys are going to, I asked before that, what do you like to eat most in the buffet? The dessert. So I said, why not we start with the dessert? To the absolute surprise of the hotel guys, my participants started their meal with the dessert. If you like the dessert most, why the hell you should not eat it first? Why should you eat it last? So here you find to do things differently. Second point, customer-centric. Whatever we do, we got to focus on the customer. Next is that in this turbulent times, our skills are getting obsolete by the hour. What we have studied in our bachelor's, master's, PhDs would be obsolete in no time. You have to upskill. You have to upskill. And we have to go for strategic partnerships. Doing things alone, that era is gone. And in all this, see the light at the end of the tunnel. See the light at the end of the tunnel. You got to have hope. You got to have hope. And few things for us to take forward. I'm sure you're going to hear this the rest of the day. Digital transformation, sustainability, and we got to evolve our workplaces. How we evolved, how we managed our offices in the past is no longer applicable. We will have lots of challenges. Along with the challenges, we will have the opportunities. Always try to see that rainbow in the dark clouds. Very difficult to see. And lastly, in concluding, drive innovation. If you want to remember a couple of points to take home, drive innovation. Embrace transformation. I mentioned this earlier as well. Foster resilience. Foster resilience. I'm adding the fourth point here. Act responsibly. Act responsibly. Thank you very much. Wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words about concepts including AI, VUCA, and new trends as well as innovation. And I hope the audience will love to hear a song at least next time, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite the Conference Secretary of IRCMS 2024, Ms. Subhani De Silva, to introduce the keynote speaker of today to the audience.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great privilege that I introduce our keynote speaker for today's second International Research Conference on Management Studies, Mr. Sasanka Pereira, a visionary leader and experienced professional with over 21 years of expertise in sales and customer service management. His career is evidence to the power of strategic leadership and unwavering commitment to excellence. Mr. Pereira's extensive experience spans driving market share, implementing national policies at regional levels, and cultivating a strategic business relationships. These efforts have not only fueled organizational growth, but also provided him with deep insights into consumer behavior, enabling innovative approaches to business strategy. He holds a master's degree in business administration from Buckinghamshire New University in UK and a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, UK. With a strong focus on leadership development, he has consistently enhanced his expertise through numerous advanced training programs. Starting his renowned career as a sales manager at Asia Broadcasting Corporation in 2002, Mr. Pereira has reached impressive heights, currently serving as the Group Chief Executive Officer of Lanka Milk Food PLC, a position he assumed at the young age of 41. His achievements highlight not only his professional acumen, but also his dedication to transformative leadership. In addition to his corporate achievements, Mr. Pereira is a passionate educator and mentor. He has made significant contributions as a visiting lecturer at renowned universities and institutions, as well as a trainer for leadership and marketing programs. His ability to inspire and guide the next generation of leaders is truly commendable. Today, Mr. Sasanka Pereira will share his insights on Leadership 360. His keynote will explore into the essence of leadership in today's dynamic business environment, inspiring us to harness our potential and drive meaningful change. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Sasanka Pereira.
Thank you so much. As Sana Jayasuriya finished, Arvind Disila battered. Now it's time for Arjuna Ranatunga and Roshan Mahanama to complete the task at hand. We hope that we won't be needing Muttaya Muralidharan to finish the match, as his batting skills needs improvement. A blessed morning to all of you. I want to thank the Lord for this opportunity, and I want to honor our Vice Chancellor, Professor Indral De Silva. Thank you, sir, for having me here this morning. Director CEO Gihan Thalgodapitiya, our COO Vatsara Nanakara. Thank you, ma'am, for having me and inviting me to give the keynote speech today. It's an honor to have all our students, youth, and young adults. Thank you, Subhan, for your beautiful introduction. I want to start with a story, and everything I say reflects me as a person, as a character. So nothing is from a book. In the new generation, what I've learned is leaders are not born, leaders are raised. Once, many years ago, I was not a leader. I was neglected, I was refused, I was put to a side. But then I took a hold of my life and raised my level of expectation. So any of you who are here this morning, whatever level, whatever standard, whatever circumstances that you are in or facing, whether it's family, your business, your future, your corporate, anything that is in line with you, you can change your level. I repeat it again, you can change your level. It is up to you to change it. It is not up to your parents, your brothers and sisters, your boss. No, it is up to you. You can change your situation right now. And that is possible. So I want to start with an example which I faced when I was in grade 5 at St. Joseph's College, when, as you know, our parents want us to swim, because if we are going in a ship one day, if the ship starts sinking, if we don't know how to swim, we will drown. We did not have Baywatch back in the day, lifeguards, but now we have, thank God for lifeguards. But if you don't swim, you will drown. In the same way, if you are a leader, if you don't know the skill, the strategic viewpoint, and how you drive yourself forward, you will drown in the marketplace, because there are so much of competition. Like our CEO mentions, innovations coming on board. So many things are changing, the life cycle, the world is changing so fast and rapidly. And if you are not swimming or you are not making momentum and going forward, you will drown as a leader. So as I was in grade 5 and I was starting to learn swimming, my coach back then, his name was Shirley Abesena, he picked me up and threw me into the deep end. It is not a story, it actually happened. He threw me into the deep end. I was drowning, I couldn't swim. I've been in the classes for probably about 1.5 months. I knew how to flap my feet and probably float, not float rather, just flapping my feet. For the freestyle, you know how to flap your feet. So I was thrown into the deep end and he said, hey, swim now. And I was drowning in the deep end. Just imagine that situation now. Leadership is always, it begins when you are thrown into an environment that is unknown for you, an environment that is not conducive, an environment that is not used to your normal pattern of life. Are you listening to what I'm saying? A baby, imagine a baby. A baby can grow in a mother's stomach, all depends on the environment of the womb. If the womb has not if it does not have a good environment, the baby will not grow. So leadership is always, most of the time, you are thrown into environments that is not, you are not used to it. And you grow as a leader. This is why I said at the start, leaders are not born, leaders are raised. So you are going into an environment and you are learning how to be a top manager. Look at our world today. Husbands are at home, wives are working. Husband is supposed to be the captain of the ship. He's the commander of the army. He's at home taking care of the children and the wives are working. Is that leadership? I'm putting the question to you. Look at our homes. Our homes are dirty, but our offices are beautiful. Most leaders are not 360 degree, but most leaders are 180 degree. When they go to office, they know how to do their work properly. But at home, they don't know how to behave or handle a family. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. They have the best strategic idea to bring a product to the marketplace and expand. But when there is a family problem, they don't have answers or a strategic way or a point of view to solve the issue. There are leaders 180 degree and there are leaders who are 360 degree. I've come here this morning to enhance your knowledge. I've given 20 minutes how to be a 360 degree leader. Not just by one angle, but by multiple angles. We come and train. We come and do lots of things. We come and talk about career development. We talk about building your skill. We talk about how to speak. But the moment you are stopped at a police station by a cop, you scold him in raw filth, and you are a trainer in terms of speaking skills. Are you a leader? Leadership is always 360 degree. How you behave in your home, how you behave on the road, how you behave in the marketplace, how you behave in your office, in your work, with your colleagues. It is utmost important that you maintain that 360 degree. This is 360 degree leadership. We discipline our children saying, son, don't do that. But we do the very thing when we are on the road driving, when there's a double cross line, we cut it and we go forward, and they're asking, hey, Tati, you just crossed the double line. Why did you do that? We discipline our children saying, hey, when you're supposed to eat, you're supposed to eat. But when there's a red light waiting and you go past that red light, and your son says, hey, Tati, you just crossed the red light. Why did you do that? Discipline is discipline in the work, discipline in the home, discipline in your studies, discipline in whatever that you want to do. Everything that you do as a leader, you have to have a 360-degree plan. Without that, it is impossible for you to move forward. So leaders are built based on character, based on your personality. You can't have one personality in your home and another personality in your workplace. You have to maintain that personality everywhere you go. You have to maintain that character everywhere you go. The problem is in Sri Lanka is that when you come to a meeting, you are beautiful, but when you go home, you are so ugly. How do you change that? You change it from inside out, not outside in. It is always inside out. Leadership comes when you are inside out. What is a leader? A leader is an influencer. A leader is a motivator. A leader is a person who can transform. When you are a leader, when you are a CEO, whatever level that you are, even you are an area manager or a sales rep or a brand manager or a procurement head or a HR personality, you must understand there are always people under you, looking towards you. So when there are people under you, when there are people below you, you must know that they are looking up to you. So when you have two different lifestyles and personalities and character, that paints a question mark in the person who is under you. So as you grow in leadership, you have to maintain the same character 24 hours a day, 7 days of the week. You can't have different personalities as a leader. 360-degree leadership is that you maintain that leadership. I am speaking this because I was once a rejected person in life. I messed up big time. In my family, in what I do, I messed up, right royal mess up. But I got my act together close to 15 years ago. I got my act together and I said, hey, this is going to stop from today. Today, I'm going to align my life. I'm going to align my family. I'm going to align my walk with the Lord. I'm going to align my career. I'm going to align my studies. I'm going to align my work. I'm going to align everything that I'm going to do. I'm going to align it and walk on that path. The moment you start doing that, everything in life just starts aligning and lining up for you. Every desire that you have, every vision that you have, you can achieve it. 12 years ago, I was just a simple manager. But the moment I got my 360-degree ways of working, leadership, the elevation start coming up. Leaders are always raised. May you be raised so that you will never be erased. I'll say it again. Leaders are never born. Leaders are always raised. When you are raised, you will never be erased out of your life. So I encourage you to raise your standard every time. We are moving into 2025. Actually, 2025, half of the year is done in terms of my perspective. I'm planning for 2026. So I look at myself right now and say, hey, what are the things I need to improve? What are the things that I need adjustments? What are the things I need to eradicate out of my life? And then start planning for 2025 end and 26 beyond. When you do that, the 360-degree starts working for you. I hope you are receiving. So Sasanka, tell me, in school, nobody taught us leadership. The only thing I can remember about leadership is learning Gampere to do my O-levels. But then you are thrown into the deep end in the marketplace and say, hey, you start leading. Schools never taught us leadership. As, I don't know, you look as if you were taught leadership in your schools, but in the school that I went, they didn't taught me anything about leadership. But as I started working and I started moving out of my comfort zone, then when I look at people, this is why it comes to my first point, that you should have a right mentor backing you. That mentor has to have a 360 degree. Most people if you take the US of A, there are people who win the lottery and they are billionaires. But 12 months down the line, they file for bankruptcy. Why do they do that? They don't have the character and the personality to what the billion that they have received, to maintain that billion. They don't have the character, they don't have the personality, they don't have the leadership quality to maintain that billion. Within 12 months, they file for bankruptcy. So what is the issue there? The issue is that they don't have the right mentor to guide them. They have a right mentor. They look at a mentor, okay, the mentor is having 5 Ferraris. You think the 5 Ferraris are beautiful. No, the 5 Ferraris is not the only thing that you need. You need to have a balance of life. Yes, have a Ferrari, have a family, have children, have a plan, have a goal, have a vision. When you have a vision, it is easy to move forward. So the mentor has to be a person who has a 360 degree. Iron always sharpens iron. So when you have a mentor of a person of iron quality, that iron sharpens me and I become iron. Example, if I come and hug our CEO now, my perfume will be on him. Correct? Are you receiving it? My perfume, my smell will be upon him. That is how a mentor should work. When you select a mentor, that mentor should guide you. That smell, that aroma. If you don't have a vision, at least follow a mentor who has a vision. When you do that, you will come into a perfect alignment of leadership. A mentor is very important. Vision is very important. Having a vision. Set goals. I had goals. By 40, I need to become a general manager. By 50, I want to become a CEO. Thank God by 41, he gave it to me. So have short-term goals, have long-term goals, not only just for your career, but also for your family, for your children, for your wife. One wife, not multiple. You have to set a plan. You have a strategic plan for your work, for your brand, but you have no strategic plan for your family. You have a KRA for your year. You have a variable bonus, but you don't give any bonus to your family. You have a key result indicator in your workplace, but there are no key result indicators in your home. Your home is a mess. Everything in life has to have a 360-degree plan. So vision is very important. Setting goals is very important. Having the right mentor, iron sharpens iron, it's very important. It is a rub-off. When you have a mentor, iron sharpens iron, you have a rub-off. When that mentor starts mentoring you, it is a rub-off that takes place. You work with diligence, point number 3. A diligent leader will lead well. What is diligence? Diligence is eagerness. Diligence is careful, forwardness, speed. Diligence is passionate. Diligence is that you don't cut corners. Diligence, you have to work with a lot of diligence. So mentor, be a visionary, work with diligence, and you have to increase your level of importance. You are a person, you can be a person. I mean, when you start into your corporate lifestyle, your entrepreneurship, you can be in business for 20 years. But then a person who is 3 years in the office can come and get elevated. Why does that happen? Is because that you have not raised your level of importance. As a leader, for me as a CEO, I need my people to become problem solvers. I have already set a target for my company, which is to double the business in the next 3 years. So it is very important that all of the 800 people, employees that I have, 800 employees plus 4,852 cows that I have, all the cows and the 800 employees have to align for the vision that has been set. If one person is not aligned, then the entire army is disaligned. Imagine the husband and the wife is not aligned, then the children are disaligned. Imagine the husband and the wife aligned, the children are not disaligned. It is impossible to move forward. In a leadership role, we should always move forward. When you move forward, the entire 360-degree grace will start kicking in. So be a person of vision, be a person who has a mentor, be a person of diligence, be a person who increase the level of importance in your life. 20 years you can work in a place, but a person who is 3 years in the marketplace can come and be above you. Why does he come and be above you? Is because you have not raised your level of importance. From today, increase your level of importance. Be a person of impact. Be a person of solution providing. When you are with your line manager, when you are with your boss, go and give solutions so that you can raise your level of importance. I hope you are receiving it. So this is my thoughts. And how do you do it? How do you be a 360-degree leader? One way to do it is to take up more responsibility. To take up more responsibility. I am a married man. I have 2 children. I have a family. That's one responsibility. Another responsibility is my work. I have close to 800 employees. It's a public quoted company. 𝐴𝐴 Fresh Milk, Lux Spray, Daily. We have top brands. We are in the dairy sector. We are the #1 dairy beverage in Sri Lanka. We have close to 4,800 cows. We have state-of-the-art barn facility in 𝐴𝐴. So I need to manage close to 800 people. So I have one set of my family, one set of my work, and the other set is I do a lot of ministry work, helping people in growth in terms of spiritual growth. So I have close to about 450 people in terms of waiting for the words they want to receive from me in terms of spiritual upliftment and growth. So how do you manage it? For me to become a leader of this nature, and yet I'm still at this level, and there is so many of levels for me to go, the reason why I take up more responsibility is because I can raise my level of importance, raise my level of leadership. So one way you can improve your 360-degree leadership is to take up more responsibility. Go to your boss, tell him, sir, I need some more responsibility, give it, I can handle it. Show him that you can take more responsibility and do the work. This is what you need to shape the future. You can have a beautiful strategic plan, but if you are not a leader to drive that plan, the plan will be a mess. This is the need of the hour. Leaders can make or break a company. So the need of the hour is not a top brand. The need of the hour is not a public quoted company. The need of the hour is not cows. The need of the hour is not a product. The need of the hour is a leader who can take a product and move forward. That is the need of the hour. So if you want to shape the future, we must rise. If we don't rise, the brand will fail, the company will fail, and there will be no future. I hope you are receiving it. Passionately solve problems. Take up more responsibility, passionately solve problems. When a problem is given, don't say that. You passionately take it. Every problem has a reason and a solution to resolve it. If you can't resolve it, that's when a mentor comes into play. So passionately resolve problems. Cultivate eagerness to accomplish things in life. This is how you become a 360-degree leader. So it is very important that we prepare pathways for people who are under us so that we groom them. I'm only just 1.5 years in the system as a group CEO, but I've already set my sights as I develop and as I move levels, as I move ahead. I've already set my sights and my eyes in terms of who is going to take over from me as I move ahead. Because I work for a big conglomerate under Mr. Harry Javadana, and it's a big group of companies, so anytime he can pick me and place me in different roles in this group. So it's my responsibility to raise the right person, to pick the right person, to select the right person and start grooming him, start giving him tips, start mentoring him, start guiding him and giving him tools so that one day, within the next 1.5 years, 2 years' time, he will be ready to take over. So as a leader, it can be your domestic, it can be your driver, it can be the person who comes to clean your garden. Mentor them. Don't be selfish. Don't be prideful. Guide them. Help them to rise up in life. They are in a poverty-stricken mentality. Help them to come up in life. Then you will be rewarded. This is my story. This is my speech. I think my 20 minutes is up. And I just want to encourage you that you can be that 360-degree leader. Not just in the marketplace, in your home, in your family, even on the road. Be that leader. This is the need of the hour. We have all top brands. As our CEO said, we have great packaging material, export quality material. Yes, we have beautiful things, but who's gonna make that brand go to the top? It is you. It is the leader who can make or break a brand. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.
Thank you for that heartfelt address about 360-degree leadership. Mr. Sasanka, can you please come to the stage to accept the token of appreciation arranged by the UNISTEM? And I would like to invite Mr. Gihan Thagodapitiya, our Director, CEO, on stage to present this token of appreciation. Now to introduce the esteemed guest of speaker of today's conference, I would like to invite our senior lecturer, Ms. Harsha Piumali, on stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to introduce our esteemed guest speaker for today's second IRCMS, Mr. Nuwan Gamage. So, with over 20 years of experience, Mr. Nuwan is a highly respected marketing professional who has worked in industries ranging from apparel to cosmetics and beauty, both in Sri Lankan and global markets. He currently holds the position of Group Head of Marketing corporate communications and sustainability at Arinma Holdings, a company known for its focus on climate resilient infrastructure and sustainable business practices. Mr. Nuwan's journey began at MAS Holdings, where he started as a training merchandiser and rose through the ranks to become a leader in marketing. In addition to his professional achievements, Mr. Nuwan has played an important role in Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing, serving as its past president and leading initiatives such as Sri Lanka's first Digital Marketing Awards and a nation branding program. A lifelong learner, Mr. Nuwan is currently pursuing a PhD at University of Colombo, focusing on consumer behavior in digital media. He also holds an MBA and a postgraduate diploma in marketing from University of Sri Jayawardenepura. And additionally, he is a member of Chartered Institute of Marketing and Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing. He is also a passionate educator, contributing as a visiting lecturer at leading universities and a trainer for marketing programs conducted by the United States Agency for International Development, the United Nations Development Program, and the Ministry of Industries, Sri Lanka. Today, Mr. Nuwan will share his insights on a very important topic, that is sustainability and the future of the business. I believe his talk will inspire us to think about how we can contribute to a better and more sustainable future. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me warmly welcome our inspirational and accomplished Mr. Nuwan Gamage on the stage.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I feel like I'm coming after 𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿𝐴, right? So after the Sasanka's speech, so I feel like that. So anyway, so I think he taken out a lot of leadership angles which can help for all of us to be a leader in certain areas that you practice. First of all, thank you very much for Professor Indralal De Silva, Vice Chancellor, and the CEO, Director Gihan De Silva, and Vatsala and all other members who communicated with me and gave me this chance to present my story in front of you, especially Lakmali, who is my batchmate at Jawadhanpur University. So having said that, you have seen my profile. I was introduced as a marketer, but I'm going to talk about today, it's about sustainability. Actually, sustainability is something, came to my head in my current workplace. So because we are into a lot of construction works in the country, so we are getting a lot of funds from World Bank and Asian Development Bank. So with that, actually, our company, management wanted to implement sustainability best practices for all our work areas. So with that, so they were just appointed me as a group head of sustainability. Also, that was a different kind of umbrella, basically the kind of a pillar for me. So then they sent me to study, I studied distance learning, University of Harvard. So it's a executive leadership program about sustainable leadership. That's where I actually learned about sustainability, how sustainability is important in terms of business practices. So I'm going to talk about, I got about 15 minutes. So what I learned about sustainability, so I'm going to share with you. It's a kind of a buzzword. So you can see a lot of corporates, conglomerates talk about sustainability. Some people talking about same thing as a environment, social and governance, ESG. Some people talk about, like especially public quoted companies, they talk about this thing as 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒𝐄𝐈 reporting in their annual reports. But most of the time, this sustainability thing that we practices are greenwashing. To get a PR mileage, some companies, they are planting trees, but they never go back and see whether the plants are there. Some people are cleaning the beaches, but they don't do anything to prevent this vulnerability happening. So sustainability has to be sustained in the world. So with that, so I will take you through some of the examples that I came across while traveling, and we have started business in Dubai. It's a biodiesel refinery. This biodiesel industry is a kind of a replacement for fossil fuel, but you can't use it in terms of like large scale. But International Flight Association, so they have become a kind of agreement with all the airlines to carry, at least use 5% of biodiesel with their jet fuel. So by 2030s. So with that opportunity, we have started business in Dubai for converting biodiesel, used cooking oil. So you know, in Sri Lanka, used cooking oils are using for 5 times, which has carcinogenic effect, which cause for cancers. Right? But in the other countries, they use it to convert to a biodiesel. And even for some of the, these palm oil manufacturers, whatever the palm oil wastage, they convert it to biodiesel. So with that, when the opportunity came into the market, you know what China has done? Chinese people are producing this used cooking oil in the industries. So then the world took a kind of standards to understand whether these are actually used cooking oil or produced used cooking oil. So because they wanted to enter into the market, these people are doing these kind of different things to gain the business deal. So that's why we need this kind of standards for the sustainability. And some people are selling shampoos or any other products, labeling that those are sustainably sourced product. So I have seen in Dubai, some product came from South Africa. They have given a nice label on that, and they have mentioned they source from sustainable way. But if you really look at how this product transferred to a Dubai from South Africa, then what is the kind of emission to develop and taking that product to that level? Even though your sourcing is sustainable, but your supply chain forward part are not sustainable, we can't label it as a sustainable product. That's why always these supply chain people are talking about, if you are bringing sustainability into a supply chain, it has to be last mile delivery. So those misconceptions are there with the sustainability. Having said that, why these sustainable practices are very important? According to the United Nations Sustainable Development Act by 1987, sustainability always represents using resources without wasting that which we can use by our next generation. So that's the terms of sustainability, which is like very simple manner. You can't consume whatever the resources belongs to our future generation. That's why this circular economy concept came. So even this biodiesel refinery and all these things are, we call it as circular economy. Circular economy basically always circulating and reusing, reducing those kind of whatever the resources that we use for the next generation. Then we can reduce our impact to the nation. And some people are also, labeling sustainability as a saving planet. Is wrong actually. Sustainability in terms of real word is saving ourselves, because without planet we can't also live, right? So it's actually direct terms, it should be we are saving ourselves. And also I'm a director of Lanka Biofuel Solution, which we started about 1 year ago. Most of the Sri Lankan companies now taking and moving away from using fossil fuels for their burners and boilers. What they do is, they basically use simple terms dara, api dara kiyala kiyanne, wood chips to burn their boilers. Even if you look at Ansell Lanka, Nestle, MS, Brandix, all these companies are now moving to those kind of changes. But how if these wood suppliers cutting the forest and bringing all these wood chips to the these plants? What is the tracing point? How they can track? There are some what we call standard companies like Bureau Veritas, HGS kind of companies. They have some sort of like traceability mechanism, but those things are going to be still questioned, because we know when we are collecting those wood chips, some loppings are coming from even jack trees and all these things. We can understand those are actually not belongs to, maybe they are coming from the forest. That's why we have introduced, you may have seen the plant called Guineaceria. So we call it as Vatamara. So we introduced, we selected a couple of lands around our factories in Gampaha. So a lot of coconut plantations are there. Then we introduced this coconut plantation people for this Guineaceria, which is these leaves give you a very nutrition value for like nitrogen high nutrition value for their plants, and as well as additional income. They have to bring that wood stick for us to chip. That we call as sustainable wood supply. So a little bit of a cumbersome process. Sustainable, it's always practicing sustainability is not easy. As Professor Mr. Gihan mentioned, so it has to be transform and the change. As he explained us, like holding our hand like this. So say for an example, how many of you are taking reuse bag when you are going to supermarket? We always bringing a lot of polythenes to our houses, and we don't have, as a country, third world country, still we don't have proper disposal mechanism household waste. අපි polythene bag එකත් එකට දානවා, කන කෑම ටිකත් එකට දානවා. There's no segregation process. I know some of the municipal councils have introduced, but people who are coming to collect our garbage from the municipal council, මාත් අද අපි ගෙනියන්නේ බත් විතරයි, අර ආහාර විතරක් ගෙනියන දවස්. අපි අද මේක විතරයි ගෙනියන්නේ. So likewise, there's no proper policies in the country to avoid these things. Therefore, I urge you to rethink. I have one of my friends, actually, he's the one who running this zero plastic national movement. So he's practicing this sustainability at home in a next level. When he go to market, he always carry a little basket to bring meat item and all. Even he's not using this polythene to bring with the meat items. So likewise, and if how many of you are going, when you are going for on a trip, how many of you are taking waters from home? you always use plastic bottle outside. So carry some water bottles in your vehicle, refill it. So likewise, you also can actually supporting this pollution. If you look at, we are one of the country, because as island nation, we issue some metric tons of plastic to the ocean every year. So there are some, kind of a work, projects are ongoing to catch them. They are putting some strainers on even the 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒𝐒 canal, you can see those. But those kind of things are like, something preventing plastic going to the ocean. But you can prevent it from your home, actually. So that's why some companies are there now, they reproduce Sri Lankan cricket jersey kind of, apparel items with this used plastic. Likewise, you can, use these kind of small activities at home to practice actual sustainability in your home. And secondly, apart from this environmental sustainability, social and governance, how you can practice your workplace. You can see, I have seen this in Pizza Hut. 1 or 2 employees are there. They are differently able people. So in your organization also, you can allocate certain position for differently able people. That's the kind of a social work and inclusion that you do. And apart from that, as Sasanka mentioned, some ladies are running houses when the husbands are there. There's a company called not the company, it's an organization called 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒𝐒𝐄 Foundation in India. They have set up a small agriculture group with the widows women. 20 million widows women are there. So they have given a certain water pump which is running on solar power, and it's deep irrigation system where you can save 80% of water for those kind of crops. So with that, actually now they are generating additional income for their families. So we can say as women empowerment. And apart from that, some companies are having a policies at least to keep 30% of the ladies in their workforce. Certain things for this social thing also you can do. And apart from that, if you talk about governance, good governance, anti-bribery, as well as child labor, those kind of policies you can implement. There's a framework called Global Compact, UN Global Compact. Any organization in Sri Lanka can join for this thing and voluntarily practice those things. What you have to do is, you have to report to them so that we are practicing these areas. So our company, we have about 40 companies in Sri Lanka. Company that I work, we converted that into one of the signatory for a global compact. And apart from that, another buzzword is carbon emission. You can measure your emission even at your home. You can measure your emission in your organization with your directors, air travel, and all these things. You can measure the emission, and you can offset those. There are some projects going even in Sri Lanka now. I think new government is looking for the option how we can trade our biodiversity credits, and also the sequestration that even if you look at our mangrove ecosystem around the country, so you can get the sequestration and you can offset those carbon. You can reduce emission in your office environment. So putting all together is actually best practices that you can do in your organization, even at your home, to take this sustainable angle. In the, I think, panel discussion today, we are going to talk about how this sustainability can bring into the future-proof education as well. Because I think this education has to come not from the home, not from the officers. This has to come from the school. So we never teach our kids in the school how to dispose our, garbage. Nowadays, actually, children are much more disciplined than us. So they never put this, even a topicole, on the roadside. So that because they are learning the sustainable initiatives and sustainability more than us in social media sometimes. So therefore, those best practices as elders, we also have to bring into our culture. Having said that, so I wish all the very best for all the, conference. I think I believe that some of the participants also maybe publish some conference paper. So wish you all the best on that. And thank you very much for listening to me. I think you may have taken certain best practices in sustainable angle from my speech, and have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. 𝐔𝐿𝐒𝐿. Please remain on stage to accept the token of appreciation which is arranged by UNISTEM. And I would like to cordially invite Ms. Vatsala Nanayakara, our Chief Operations Officer, on stage to present this token of gratitude. Thank you so much. As we are coming to the end of the inauguration ceremony of today's conference, I would like to take this moment to invite Ms. Lakmali Vijay-Singha, our senior lecturer, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Emeritus Indira de Silva, Conference Chair Dr. Rajitha Silva, our esteemed guests, students, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. With immense gratitude and privilege, I stand before you today to deliver the vote of thanks for the second International Research Conference on Management Studies. Today, UNISTEM has made a significant contribution to fostering a research culture by hosting the second IRCMS under the theme Shaping the Business Future, Trends and Insights for Tomorrow. It has been an honor to be part of this remarkable event. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished Vice Chancellor, Professor Emeritus Indira de Silva. Sir, you have inspired us from the very beginning of this event. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of UNISTEM and the Research Committee, I extend my sincere gratitude to our keynote speaker, Mr. Sasanka Pereira, for energizing this event with his insightful address. Thank you very much, sir. I am also deeply gratitude to Mr. Nuwan Gamage, our guest speaker, for shedding light on sustainability and inspiring us with his thoughtful speech in this morning. Thank you very much, Mr. Nuwan. A special note of appreciation goes to our conference chair, Dr. Rajitha Silva, for his invaluable guidance throughout this journey. Thank you very much, sir. I am immensely thankful to Mr. Gihan Thalgodapitiya, Director, CEO of UNISTEM, for his outstanding leadership, unwavering encouragement, tremendous support, which have been a true inspiration to all of us. Dear sir, your guidance has greatly motivated us to make this event success. Thank you very much, sir. My sincere thanks goes to our Chief Operating Officer, Ms. Vatsala Nanayakkara, for her immense cooperation in organizing this event. Thank you very much, Ms. Vatsala. I must also acknowledge the invaluable contribution of our Conference Secretary, Ms. Subhani de Silva. Ms. Subhani, thank you so much for your tireless efforts and dynamic guidance throughout this process. Furthermore, I would like to express my gratitude to all the special guests who have joined us today for this significant occasion. Thank you very much all. Your presence is truly an honor. Next, I extend my gratitude to all our students, both present here physically and participating online. Dear students, thank you so much for being part of this event and make it success. I wish you all the very best in your studies and your future. Last but certainly not least, I would like to thank the academic and non-academic staff of UNISTEM. Without this dedicated team, achieving this success would not have been possible. I deeply appreciate your willingness to go above and beyond to ensure the completion of every task. Dear colleagues, thank you very much. Yes, we did it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to express our profound gratitude to each one of you for being part of this remarkable event. It has been great pleasure to share this occasion with you all. Thank you everyone and have a good day.
Thank you, Ms. Lakmali. So, let us enjoy a short tea break and we will reconvene this session at 11:30 for our plenary discussion featuring a distinguished panel exploring the topic of future-proofing business education, adapting curricula for a changing world, which is moderated by none other than Ms. Vatsala Nanayakkara. So everyone please join us on the third floor for refreshments and we will be back here by 11:30 for our plenary discussion. Thank you very much. Welcome back everyone. It's now time for today's plenary discussion, which is moderated by none other than Ms. Vatsala Nanayakkara, our Chief Operations Officer at UNISTEM, our role model. So I would like to invite her on stage to introduce the panel members and to host the plenary discussion.
Thank you, Dilki. Our plenary session has the focus on the topic which is called Future Proofing Business Education, Adapting Curricula for the Changing World, focus on how business education needs to evolve to prepare students for emerging trends like artificial intelligence, digital transformation, sustainability, and globalization. As the business landscape continues to evolve rapidly, driven by emerging trends such as AI, digital transformation, sustainability and globalization, there is a growing need to rethink how we prepare the next generation of leaders. The session, Future-Proofing Business Education, Adapting Curricula for Changing World, will focus into the pressing needs for business education to evolve and adapt for these transformative shifts. In this session, we will explore how educational institutions such as UNISTEM and organizations and the industry leaders can collaborate to design curricula that not only address current trends but also anticipate future challenges. We will focus on the integration of new technologies, the importance of sustainable business practices, and the role of globalization in shaping the future business education. As the moderator, I look forward to facilitating a dynamic discussion on how business schools and educators can ensure that students are equipped with knowledge, skills, and mindset to thrive in an ever-changing global environment. So now let me introduce our distinguished panel members. First of all, I think, of course, I have made a little note to introduce our guest speaker, but I will not waste my time on that because already we have got an introduction to Mr. 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿. So it's my pleasure to invite Mr. 𝐷𝐞𝐬𝐿, who is our guest speaker, to the stage. Then let me introduce Mr. Rohan Pandita Koralage. I have made a little note. A visionary and trendsetter in the field of HR and sustainable business management, Rohan has been a strong advocate for bringing HR to the board and giving it its due place. He co-founded the Association of Human Resource Professionals in Sri Lanka. With closer to over 40 years of experience, including over 15 years as a board member in multinational corporations, he has expertise in the full spectrum of HR, including learning and development, compensation and benefits, HR policies, HR strategies, and sourcing. Recognized for his innovative and practical approaches to HR, he was awarded the prestigious HR Leadership Award at the Asia Pacific HRM Congress. Rohan is a product of Victoria University of Melbourne, Australia, and was a group supervisory board member at 𝐂𝐭𝐿 plc. Now he is the managing director of RMD Consultants, which is a leading HR consultancy firm in Sri Lanka. So please welcome Mr. Rohan Pandita Koralage. Now let me introduce Mr. Manon Pereira. I always call him as our supply chain guru. A supply chain professional with 25 years of multinational experience in production, engineering, safety, health and environment, quality, warehousing, and logistics. He counts over 15 years in academic roles, well-traveled over 25 countries, and have developed specialist skills in project management, environmental auditing, total productive maintenance, total quality management, and managing studies. So let me warmly welcome our supply chain guru, Mr. Manon Pereira. Of course, I have entrusted to introduce Mr. Gihan Talgudupitiya. Mr. Talgudupitiya, as we all know, you all have met him, formerly was the founder of Human Resource Management Institute and also founder of 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒, and which is now known as the UNISTEM, who has been into corporate training for past so many years and presented workshops and corporate training over 4,500 in the Asian region. So let me welcome Mr. Gihan into the discussion room. Right, I think we are ready to proceed. Can I sit over here? It's much easier for me. Right, I think we are ready for our discussion. All the panel members are seated. I wish to invite Mr. 𝐂𝐨𝐴 to discuss about sustainability for future proof of education.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think we talk about sustainability. So now in this session, actually, I'm going to mostly cover about how we can include these sustainable best practices into a curriculum, especially because when you look at in organization, so most of the sustainability practices has to be kind of a culture. So then organizational culture basically bringing to life by the HR department. So I think most of your education are related to business management and HR. So I think that is where the very first place that we can take these sustainable best practices to the staff, and as well as how these sustainable best practices to be sustained in your organization. If I mention in my guest speech also, lot of sustainable practices done by the companies are like greenwashing. So they do that for a PR mileage and get certain awards. Those are the main aims of practicing sustainable best practices, not merely for the benefit of the community. So, but practicing sustainability is not easy. As we talk about, like, it's actually not an easy practice. So there are some companies that standards actually they set to reduce your electricity usage in your organization, and sometimes food waste, and sometimes the way that you use your vehicles. In some countries, actually, big multinational companies, they practices in terms of coming to work in a different way, like maybe because of their weather, they can come on a bicycle sometimes to office. So likewise, they can, carpooling. Sometimes if the people are coming from same directions, so they can come together to reducing rather than driving 4 cars. They can do a carpooling and come in one vehicle. So likewise, so many practices are done. And same time, after the COVID, most of the organization actually, they introduced this work from home practices. So some companies actually have seen this work from home is productivity is less, but productivity measurements are also there. Like there are some softwares that they have introduced, so to measure the productivity. And at the same time, that can be used as sustainable best practices. Rather than coming all 5 days to office, you can work 2 days at home. So likewise, all these things, but has to come as a culture, because you can see a lot of Microsoft Teams and Google Meet, those kind of softwares. Actually, they have introduced certain elements. Even now, you can take automatic notes of your e-meeting. So there are those kind of softwares all attached to the ecosystem. So using that, if you can reduce your carbon emission driving to office alone. Right now, if you look at in the road, so in the morning, how many cars that you can see, only single person is traveling in it. So likewise, and as a government, Sri Lankan government can basically provide certain policy changes to bringing more electric vehicles. But in the other hand, when you look at, we'll talk about this thing, when you talk about electric car, this lithium-ion battery is much more harmful in production as well as disposal than we are using sometimes diesel vehicle. So debatable, we'll talk about what is the best practices. So that's actually, I took it as a preamble for the, opening the conversation. So over to next panelist.
Right. Thank you, sir. And now I wish to discuss with Mr. Rohan Pandita Kauralage on your topic, because initially around when we were discussing about this area, you wanted to address how the curriculum should be adopted beyond the theory. So over to you, sir, to discuss about that.
Thank you, Vatsala, and thanks for inviting for this panel, Mr. Talgotapitiya. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, sorry. Okay, so future-proofing has business education has been around for a while, although it has not been spoken about like that in the same context, in the same terminology. I can remember way back in 1997 when University Grants Commission also was looking at future-proofing business education or management education for the state universities. They were thinking at that time whether they, with the arts graduates, whether they would be able to cater to the market, especially in the corporate world. So future-proofing, as Mr. Talgotapitiya said, in the VUCA world, or some people may call it the beanie world, is a huge challenge because we are talking about the same old pestle that Mr. Talgotapitiya used to speak about good old days. Now the VUCA effect is there on the pestle, especially the political, economic and social aspect of it. So how do we future-proof business education and adopt the curricula for that? I would like to approach this in two ways. One I would call the ELO and the other one I would call LLL. ELO standing for experiential learning opportunities. That's what we should look at in terms of an institute such as this, where we establish the what you call the conditions or the environment for the students to put into practice what they have learned in an ongoing manner. To this effect, the German dual education system shows the best possible opportunity, but I don't know whether we can go that far. But where students stay in the university for a particular period, 6 months, and they go out to the industry, gain some experience, come back, go back again, like that. That seems to be holding very well if that kind of thing is possible. Now, in most of our local universities, they give the last 6 months or so for people to go and get some work experience. But in our hospitality industry, it's like the German dual education system, where they send people into the industry every 6 months. And you can see how fast our hospitality industry people are snatched overseas because of the practical experience that they possess. The other things that I would like to suggest is the live business projects, simulations, real life simulations, would be extremely helpful if the university can partner with corporates for that kind of opportunity. And of course, the meaningful internships. This is something I really feel sad about. I can remember when Ms. Chandrika Bandaranayake's government in 1997 offered the Aruna graduates. I, as the head of HR at 𝐕 snatched 67 graduates because I really wanted to make sure I got permission from the chairman, Mr. Ratna Sivaratnam, to give them the real experience. So we really immerse them with structured training on the job and off the job in 𝐕 and its subsidiaries. Unfortunately, in 1999, they opened more public service slots, and out of the 67, only 8 remained. All the others went back to state sector jobs. But I meet them, they are holding big positions now in most state sectors, and we can see how it has impacted them, the experience they gain at 𝐕. So internships, do not put them for the sake of putting them for internships. I recommend that HRMI strongly monitors these internships. Just a journal entry is not enough, but practically see and get the companies also involved in giving feedback, not just signing off, but commenting. A lot of universities get in apprenticeships or internships, and they just want the boss to sign off. No, get their input about the student and their ability to put into practice what they have learned. The other point that I would like to mention is about the triple L, lifelong learning, and there UNISTEM can facilitate that with a lot of activities. There's so much that can be done. Get the, first thing is to lecturers to partner with the business community. It's not just hi-bye kind of thing, but really get involved in research projects and all those with the private sector companies. There's ample opportunity, and there's a need also, because most of the corporates are not doing their own research. They are expecting someone else to do it and send it. So that, and business power teams, to facilitate business power teams from the UNISTEM. And as it was mentioned earlier, I think Sasanka mentioned that mentorship, genuine mentorships where you give one-on-one mentoring to the students. That's what I would like to say at this moment.
Sure, Rohan, thank you very much. I think picking up from Noan, where he was talking to us about sustainability, I think that should be a part of our life. We should start it from home. So when it comes to education, this has to be, we need to teach our younger generation, starting from the kindergarten, to say that what sustainability is. So then bringing the transformation is not going to be difficult, as we have given them the good idea about sustainability at their young age. So having said that, I think Rohan moved on to experiential learning. This is something pretty much we also discuss at the UNISTEM. The learning must be beyond the theories, that the students should explore and experience specifically the need of the world, including the corporate world. And also their learning has to focus on their convergent and divergent thinking. So thank you very much, Rohan, for that. And I think now we will move to Manun. since his specialty is in the supply chain area, we have noted his topic as supply chain of the future on associate technologies. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vatsala. Yes. So, I mean, supply chains are probably, I might be biased, but one of the most interesting places to work now, most challenging places to work now in an organization. And if organizations are to compete in the market, well, probably supply chains are one of the, or probably the area to focus on in terms of cutting costs, wastages, improving quality. It's an improvement area and an area to be. So, sorry? Can hear? Yes, yes. Right. But having said that, I mean, looking at the VUCA concepts, I mean, it's so volatile. I mean, the consumer demands are changing. It's very volatile. Consumer demand. So as supply chains, as people working in supply chains, we have to be able to cope with the consumer demands, which is changing. I mean, people have money, but they don't have time to spend money. People are busy. They want convenience. So, I mean, it's a wide spectrum of changes. Having said that, in supply chains, we need to be able to grasp the changes that are going to take place. I mean, the future supply chains need to be intelligent, resilient. Gihan spoke about resilience. Intelligent. We will need to predict more things. And as Mr. Gamage pointed out, we have to be sustainable. It's not only, I mean, for me, sustainability is a very simple concept of people, planet, and profit, managing all three. It's not only planet, it's not only people, but we need to be profitable businesses as well, the 3 Ps. So having said that, so future supply chains need to be resilient, need to be intelligent, and sustainable. Sustainable businesses are the businesses which have been there for over 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. I mean, if you take the best companies in the world today, the leading companies in the world today, they are sustainable businesses. They've been there for hundreds of years, 120 years, 125 years, because they are sustainable businesses. They focus on sustainability. They focus on the people aspect, the planet aspect, and the profit aspect. But going forward, the world also would be different, isn't it? I mean, if you look at the technologies that are going to be there, I mean, Gihan spoke about the artificial intelligence, isn't it? I mean, AI is going to be big, so we need to know what is AI. We need to need to exploit the benefits that come from artificial intelligence in terms of data analytics, in terms of forecasting models. Everything would revolve around AI. So how do we get the benefits of AI into our businesses? Internet of Things, I mean, involves using sensors, internet connectivity, and then making things happen. I mean, we were in Australia recently, and I mean, I was with one of my batchmates' homes. I mean, for him, gardening, watering the garden is just from his mobile. Everything is from his mobile. Opening doors or watering the garden, everything, owning the air conditioners, everything is connected. Everything is connected. So Internet of Things, where you use sensors, internet connectivity, etc., to operate things. And that's how factories are going to be. It might be a little slow in Sri Lanka, but that's where the world is moving. Blockchain technologies, use of blockchain technologies, I mean, because for traceability, etc. So these are new technologies. Robots, isn't it? Robots. I mean, we all know robots, automation. It'll come soon. I mean, one of the esteemed speakers spoke about tuk-tuks without drivers, driverless cabs, driverless taxis, robots. I mean, now kitchens, some of the restaurants there's one particular restaurant in Boston where the robots cook the food. The robots cook the food. So there is robots getting into not only factories, but into the daily lives of ourselves. 3D printing. 3D printing. The Nikes that we wear, the shoes that we wear would be 3D printed in the future. I mean, most of the car parts that we have in our vehicles are 3D printed. Now, what would be the implications that it will have on the bigger factories? Nike says their jogging shoes would be 3D printed. I mean, I can then print my jogging shoe at Talawatuguda. I can print it at home perhaps in the next 10, 20 years, 50 years. That has a profound impact on supply chain. So 3D printing, I mean, these are already there. These technologies all are already there, which supply chains would be using them to be more efficient, to be more resilient, to make them more intelligent. Of course, there are things like augmented reality, virtual reality, which will come into use for training, for maintenance of machines, etc. So these are some of the key, probably the key, but I mean the world is changing and technologies also would be changing very fast. Okay? But at the moment, as people working in supply chains, we need to make use of those technologies. That's important. So in terms of, I can take a minute or two? Yes. In terms of curriculum for business studies, it's important that our courses also contain aspects of these so that the students do not go out to the world without knowing these concepts. I mean, these are, some of them are skills, some of them are knowledge-based, and I was happy to see when Gihan showed me the curricula for UNISTEM, the campus here. It had most of these topics that were being taught or courses that were planned to be started. So now things like, for example, digital supply chain management is something that we need to think of. Digital supply chain management. We have supply chain management, okay, but next 5-10 years, digitization is going to be big. And it will come to Sri Lanka as well, sooner than we expect. Data analytics and business intelligence. Students should be equipped with handling large worksheets, large amounts of data. Okay, so that's something that we need to look at in our curriculums. I mean, with all the digitization and the automation and the robotics that we are moving into, sometimes data security could be compromised. We need to be more safer. Cyber security is one such aspect. Cyber security, with all the automation, the digitization, etc., cyber security becomes a topic to be learned in business schools. Of course, as Mr. Gamage mentioned, sustainability, and also ethical sourcing. Ethical sourcing is probably another aspect to be taught in business schools. Sustainability. I mean, we need to realize we are not in businesses for 2 years or 3 years or 5 or 10. As businesses, we should be looking at the next 50 years or 100 years. And a business to be existing for 50 or 100 years, they have to be sustainable businesses. There cannot be businesses, I mean, if you don't practice sustainability, I mean, Nuwan very, very clearly articulated that if you are not sustainable, if you don't focus on people, planet, and profit, all three are important, people, planet, and profit, you cannot be a sustainable business. If you want to be in business for the next 100 years, it has to be a sustainable business. It's not only profit-based. Gone are the days where companies only focus on profits. You look at your KPIs and see if there are 20 KPIs, does it cover people? Does it cover the planet? Does it cover profit? If you get a sample of companies, out of the 20 KPIs, probably 75% would be on profit base, cost minimization, revenue maximization, wastage reduction, all based on. But a sustainable business is where your KPIs are equally distributed between people, planet, and profit. Look at your KPIs when you go back to work on Monday and see whether you are a sustainable business. It could be clearly seen from your KPIs. And the final point is, all this requires an innovation mindset. I think Gihan articulated it and emphasized it very well. Innovation to take advantage of these technologies, and also you need to have an entrepreneurial spirit, an entrepreneurial mind to make use of all what is happening in the world today. So, so that's what I plan to talk or plan to discuss about the future of supply chains, global supply chains, and the technologies that we need to make use of, which is already there. Sri Lanka is going there, slowly but surely, but we need to be aware of all these concepts. And thank you, Gihan, thank you, Vatsala, for inviting me for this panel.
Thank you, sir. It's a very insightful discussion that we had when you look at from the supply chain perspective. Now, of course, we were talking a few areas. When you look at our topic, such a broader topic, there are a lot for us to cover. So starting from sustainability and then experiential learning, and then we moved on to the supply chain side. Now, when we look at the education system, when we look at the education, nowadays we are facing lots of challenges. On one hand, we always talk about Gen Zs. On the other hand, we talk about developing technologies. So it's a great challenge when it comes to an educational program or a degree or for that matter even a diploma. How are we going to meet these challenges? So I wish to invite Mr. Gihan Thalgodopitiya to discuss about that. How will you focus on current challenges in the business education?
Good afternoon, and thank you, Vatsala. First of all, I must say that we plan not to have slides. Okay? And I have some slides. Yesterday, I am usually a last-minute person to prepare, which my colleagues know. And Subha gave the topics. Mistakenly, I prepared the slides for the afternoon, or rather this presentation, thinking it was a morning presentation. So till evening, I had to do the morning both presentations. So I ended up with some slides. Since I took a lot of trouble, which I always do, I thought might as well not waste. So there, my friend will help me with the slides. I will stick to the seat as much as possible. First is that we have this topic, future-proofing business education. This future-proofing is a bit of an uncommon term. Let me first explain that. We have heard of topics like waterproofing. Okay? All of us have heard waterproofing, which means that you don't allow any water to leak or penetrate. That we know very well. Some of you may have heard of another term called mistake proofing. This is actually a concept by the Japanese, which came up with this term called poke-yoke. I don't know whether I pronounced it right. P-O-K-E. How is the correct pronunciation? Poka-yoke. You can say that.
Poka-yokes.
Okay. හරි නෑ වගේ සිංහලෙන් නේද කොහොම හරි poka-yoke නේ right okay now that is called future mistake proofing that means you make something with no room for mistakes anybody can give me an example of mistake proofing or poka-yoke what මොකක්ද වගේ කියනකොට right anyway can anyone tell an example of how Japanese have translated this concept into a everyday item that we have in our houses all over? I can see so many of them are even around here. Yeah? The plug point. The 3-pin plug, you can't make a mistake. There's only one way of fixing it. Now, of course, now that you know the 3-pin plug, there are lots of other little gadgets that we fix onto computers. There's only one right way of doing it. So, like mistake proofing, like waterproofing, we have this concept of future proofing. That means that the management education or business education ought to be, I must look at the time, right, should be applicable for the future. Okay? Now, once again, I had used a similar concept of a turbulent time, and next slide, my colleague. Future-proofing business education, the VUCA world. We talked about the VUCA world. All this proofing comes because we are living in an absolutely turbulent time. I'm not going to go back into the details of VUCA world because we did that in the morning. Now, what are the current challenges that we face in business education, or for that matter even in education per se? The worst is that the curriculum. I call it the static curriculum. We don't change the curriculum. The curriculum that we have used years and years ago are still applicable. We have couple of distinguished professors and lecturers here in this audience. I'm sure they will bear with me that one of the biggest drawbacks we have in our country is that we don't regularly revisit the curriculum. May I ask, sir, with respect, Professor Indrilal, in your opinion, how frequently should we change our curricula?
Universities, of course, every 3 years we tend to revise the curriculum, but I would say at least every year or every 2 years. That should be.
Frequently, we ought to revisit and update. Now, one of the big issues even we have in our school education is that the curricula is outdated. So, one challenge or the first challenge is static curriculum. Along with it, the other thing is that we imagine that we change the curricula, the worst thing is to change the teachers. Okay, so I believe in the school system, we regularly get the teachers to go back to National Institute of Education and update themselves. Now, that has to happen in all teaching institutions. Number 2, the second point that you see here on the screen, I have it on my phone, industry relevance. Industry relevance. In my long years of consulting and training over the last 30, I think you wanted to hide my age. She didn't say that I have been in training and consulting. Calendar age, I don't care.
Since it's a debate,
no debate. Yeah. Mawan tinga next amount wage. Bale shakti jave. Right? So, Nadhu sir, Sindhu kyane vitarai bare. Whether what we teach is relevant to the industry needs. Okay? That's a big issue because our industries, because particularly Sri Lankan industry has been labor intensive And as a result, our labor cost is high. One of the reasons that we can't compete, for example, in the apparel industry, is that our labor costs are high. Our productivity is low. Compared to other countries, we are not competitive in terms of our output and cost. Answer is that we got to bring in more automation, more CAD/CAM systems and so on. My colleagues on the table are more aware of this. So what we teach have to be industry relevant. And also, now we are in a global employment market. When we learn something from here, we should be able to go and practice it in Australia or in Canada or in anywhere in the world. So what we teach in our institutions, is it globally relevant? So 3 challenges that I mentioned here. Then we come up with the crux of this little presentation, 5 key strategies for future proofing. Focus on emerging trends. We can't run away from that. And the fact that we have the internet at our disposal, we are well aware. And this, what you see on screen now, is some of the things that we have initiated in recent past at UNISTEM. In fact, we were originally known, we started HRMI in 2008. Last year, we went through a brand rebranding process because HR, I feel is a bit obsolete. We have professors of HR over
Rohan,
here.
would you like to have the mic?
No. But I mean, HR obsolete we are producing too many HR graduates. You will agree with that. All the universities in the private sector, in all the universities in the public sector, institutions like CIPM and HRMI, we produce.
Dr. Rajitha
Silva. Right? So I thought that, well, there are many people to produce, there are many people to produce HR graduates. So I created name change from Human Resource Management Institute. Now we call ourselves UNISTEM, STEM standing for Science, Technology, Engineering, MA Mathematics and Management. So that now under UNISTEM, our proper institute name is Institute for Science, Technology, Engineering and Management. I can do anything and everything. Nobody will have a wrong perception, only HR, only management, only there karanna puluwan. Now I teach psychology, we teach tourism, we teach logistics, supply chain, anam neme hunde eva. Then one of the new things that we have embarked is what you see are the new ones. You have already started some of these courses into cybersecurity, cloud computing, AI, machine learning, what you see here. And on the right-hand side, the white side, we have also launched networking, blockchain, AR, VR, Tamana, automation and robotics, we are on the way, quantum computing. And these are the things that our students, the future generations, have to learn. What I believe is, whether we do a degree in history or philosophy or science or mathematics or management, this stuff must be incorporated into all our spheres of learning. Number 2, key strategies for future proofing, soft skills and lifelong learning. In our curricula, we don't adequately cover these areas. We have to focus and see that these students finally will go into corporates, public or private, and work with people. So they have to have leadership. We heard from our distinguished speakers about how important the leadership was, creativity, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, we have lots of issues with the younger generation. So we have to understand our emotions, manage our emotions, know where we are when dealing with ourselves, dealing with our colleagues. Adaptability and growth mindset and project-based learning. I feel that we have not adequately emphasized these areas in our in our teaching. Once again, irrespective of what the degree, what the diploma is, to teach these things, you don't need to do a OB degree or HR degree. Whether they do a degree in history or anthropology or archaeology, they should understand these things. Number 3, oh right, okay, along with that, if you just walk out of this door and get to the other side, you will find on the door a little board called hubs and cells. Hubs and cells. When I imagine UNISTEM, something that I visualized is that we need to teach things even outside the strict curricula. If you can see the screen from where you are seated, we have created 8 segments, what I call hubs and cells. Innovation hub, thinking hub, change maker hub, entrepreneurship hub, research cell, communication cell, emotional intelligence cell, and management skills cell. Now these hubs and cells, these areas, irrespective of whether they do HR or psychology or tourism or AI, has to be incorporated into their teaching. Because if we produce a undergraduate, bachelor's degree or a master's degree without them knowing about thinking, okay, I always tell my staff, think. I actually don't work. If you walk into my office downstairs on the first floor, these people, sometimes Vatsala comes and says, you are sleeping. I say, no, I'm not sleeping, I'm thinking. Okay, I keep because if I don't think, none of these things would have also happened. So we got to master the skill of thinking. We got to master the skill of doing things different. Well, this is one of my favorite areas. I might be talking till 1 o'clock if I let myself go. Number 3, interdisciplinary approach. Interdisciplinary approach. We are not working in compartments. We are not working in silos. We got to appreciate cross-functional, cross-hierarchical, cross-specialization. Interdisciplinary approach is a must. Blend business education with technology, sociology, environmental studies. I personally don't believe that we need to have a maths graduate to do AI. I have spoken to my IT consultant. He's Mr. Ranga Gamage, who is not here now. He was here in the morning. I asked Ranga, should a person do, can they do a AI diploma or a degree by studying logic, geography and history? He said, yes, can do. That should be the spirit. We don't need to have specialized O-levels or A-levels in order to go into these things, because these new developments should be part and parcel of all courses of study. The 4th priority I'm talking about is collaboration with industry. I think my colleagues on the panel discussed it. Internship training. Most of our guest lecturers, that's why we have a massive guest lecturing panel, come from the industry, because that's what we need. That's what we need. We need to have a proper balance between theory and practice. So collaborating with the industry, develop partnerships with businesses for internships, case studies and guest lectures. I have known Rohan for the last 30 plus years. One of the loveliest human beings I have met in my life. You can see that in his face. Not that the other face is ugly. But I always refer to Rohan as a lovely human being. We have known each other probably from 1980s, 84, 94, that's exactly 30 years. And where internships, where institutional corporate relationships. I have recently told Rohan, could you kindly help me with our internship, a structured internship program, so that the specialists like Rohan with lifelong HR experience can guide our interns. Regular update regularly update curricula based on industry feedback. One of my other institutes, Government Industry Management Institute, 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒𝐄𝐈, I started this in 1990. It's 30 plus years. And the technology is completely different. And we have brought in a lot of new developments in the industry into the curricula, without which our fellows will not be able to even walk in. Now I must say, we have almost 100% employment for our 𝐔𝐍𝐈𝐒𝐄𝐈 graduates. We only go actually up to a diploma, and they are easily absorbed by major companies like 𝐿, Brandix, Hydromanis and so on, Timex, because they can walk into a factory and start work. Point number 5 and the last, leveraging technology in education. AI-powered tools. Well, whether we like it or not, our students are more thorough in AI than all of us put together. Okay? So you give them an assignment, next moment they have produced the answer. You can't even catch them with our plagiarism software, because after getting in ChatGPT, there are some humanistic software, and then do one transfer here, transfer there, and then it becomes human and original also. So let's work around it. Make use of the best to do that. Once in a way, I teach in very unusual programs like tourism. I take the first module in our tourism degree, and I teach entirely based on AI and ChatGPT and other tools. I don't think without AI we would have ever known that AI lists about 300 places of tourist attractions in Sri Lanka, places that we had never ever heard. So you find we got to make use of these technology, the tools available, promote online learning platforms, because that's the order of the day. I always feel that physical classes like this or face-to-face is the best, but then can't help. The modern generation prefers online. And finally, the role of institutions and individuals. That picture is a picture of Cambridge University. For institutions, invest in faculty training to teach future-ready skills. Why I picked up on this picture of University of Cambridge, the oldest university, one of the oldest in the 800, because otherwise I might get challenged by the professors in front, about 800 years, sir, somewhere there, is one of the most up-to-date universities in the world. Okay? So we have to follow. Invest in faculty training to teach future-ready skills, foster innovation hubs and entrepreneurship cells, which we are doing, for students and professionals engaged in continuous learning. Whatever your age, whatever your specialty, however senior you are, learning never ends. And final slide, the conclusion, call to action. To thrive in an uncertain future, we must reimagine business education today. Let's make it dynamic, inclusive, and forward-thinking. Let me leave you with 2 words. These 2 words I learned from Tom Peters, one of the greatest management gurus of our generation. My colleagues have heard this since I keep saying this very frequently in office. Distinct or extinct. Unless you would distinctively differentiate yourself, you will not last, you will extinct. So thank you very much. I hope you will carry at least few of these words home and make a difference in your approach to teaching. Thank you. Thanks, Dr.
Right. Thank you, Gihan. I think end of this discussion, I felt this area, that is future-proofing business education itself is a area for someone to do some research. So you can maybe the students, if you are thinking of your research studies, you can focus on that area as well. So with that, I think we are running a little bit of short of time. We are behind the schedule. Maybe that there is a room for 2 questions. Maybe first to raise the hand, we will give the opportunity.
I guess you are aiming that question for me? Yes. Right, okay. Well, actually, the Gen Zs, the young kids that we have, are a lot more tech savvy than all of us. So for them, teaching this stuff is not a big deal at all, because they will take it like fish taken to water. The problem of the parents don't understand, the teachers don't understand, senior lecturers, senior professors who don't want to get updated will resist. We are a nation, I remember 20-30 years, some of sir you will agree, එදවසල front wheel driving එනකොට අපේ මිනිස්සුගේ front wheel driving හොඳ නැහැ කියලානේ. ඒක rear wheel driving ගත්තා. ඊන් පස්සේ මොනවද what is this power steering එලවන්න බෑ, automatic vehicles එලවන්න බෑ. Over a period of time they will get over it. We have to adjust ourselves. I think our kids will take it up without any issue. The challenge is on our generation. Did I answer your question?
Thank you, sir. Any more questions?
One more?
Yes, sir.
We are having a significant problem. The problem is that even the undergraduate and the postgraduate level, large number of students go to the AI or some other websites, copy large sum of material and submit with their assignments and the dissertations. Now, since the AI is there, well, of course, this will continue in a large scale. But my issue is that in research, we every time recognize who are the people produce this kind of knowledge. Now, the problem is that intellectual property rights under the law. I don't know how the intellectual property rights will going to handle this case, because in very soon, large number of postgraduate students, good or bad or whatever, they may say they are not copying, because it's an AI produced this material. But this material, of course, prepared by some of the experts some time back, and AI is capturing these things. Now, I don't know whether any of you are legally capable of answering my question. Intellectual property rights, or what you call the plagiarism kind of issues, how we are going to tackle this particular problem. And also, if the students are moving much more into the artificial intelligence as a researcher, I definitely agree with the industry and other places, they can use it. But as a student, step-by-step knowledge gain, whether this will be really beneficial for the student, and also they will select the wrong path. Still we don't know exactly, but university sometimes we are thinking we may have to reduce what you call this assignments and thesis component as much as possible examinations. I mean, these are the current discussions we are having, because we are observing entire dissertation sometimes borrow from the thesis. This is something I don't know, I also don't have an answer, but I know younger generation will move into this. The legal aspect of it and the referencing and who is the original author of this material is the question.
Anybody who can contribute to Professor's discussion points?
So what would be the AI rating that is allowed, AI index that is allowed at Colombo?
Usually universities allow 20 to 30%.
20 to 30%.
So from the internet or AI. But that also, we don't have a clear-cut, margin for each and every university. Some universities, they won't check, some faculties, they don't check at all. Therefore, this is something we need to think with the higher education. Otherwise, sometimes without research capacity, they may be holding a master's in research. That's the problem.
Professor, to give you some little bit of thinking, is that things like project-based learning, where we get the students to get engaged in activities, projects, rather than written assignments, and also defending the assignment. I remember even before AI came, I had a student, you'll remember this incident. I looked at, actually I don't look at assignments, but for some funny reason, for that fellow's bad luck, I looked at this assignment and I felt this fellow is not capable of writing this kind of English. Then I told him that I'm going to cross-examine you, and I really got mad. And I think that was the last day he stepped into the institute. After that, he didn't come because this contract writing, AI and ඉස්සලා තිබ්බනේ contract writing කියලා වචනෙට රුපියලයි. Very cheap. You can get somebody to write your assignment or your research work, ₹1 a word, 150 a word, and එහෙම ලියලා. Right? So we will have to use such techniques where they have to defend what they have written and so on. But the problem in state universities, in a batch you might have 200 students, 300 students. But in our place, we have a policy that we don't exceed 30 students, max 40 students in a class. Very often we have lesser than those numbers also. එතකොට ඔය කරන්න පුළුවන්. But then it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. We thought examinations is outdated and went into assignments and projects, but now we have to blend it halfway down.
Yeah, I think the negative side of AI, when we talk about negative side, I think that is the biggest disadvantage we see as educators, because well, it's no point of that a student is taking a qualification and get into the job market. If they are unable to perform, the performance is depending not only the learning, but also there are other activities like their decision-making ability, their thinking ability, their creativity, their innovation. All that is being hindered when they use AI to do their assessments. So as Gihan clearly said, in fact, when actually at this moment of time, we are in the process of developing new curricula for the Ministry of Education to introduce Bachelor of Manufacturing Management. So that's the debate we are going through as of today. What is the percentage of examinations, project work, and other activities instead putting assignments? So I'm sure it's, we need to implement this immediately, because very clearly no point of one is get into the job market without having sufficient thinking ability. So with that, any more questions?
We are assigning students to identify a real issue in an industrial organization or a medical organization, and then come up with solutions. In case of the research, we are assigning the research project. So therefore, we are minimizing this problem that we spoke of. I think we are practicing it nearly 10 years now, so that we don't have to go through even 3 years, because the issue that students are solving is a real issue, which has applications in data analysis as well as the problem solution. So that way we are minimizing this problem in our university implementation. So that's one thing. The other thing is AI development. AI development is actually all about writing an algorithm, so that the machine can think. So as recently Google head Jeffrey Hinton resigned from the Google Council because he said that ultimate AI is going to replace the human, and human civilization is going to be extinct. That's what he said. So, teaching when it comes to AI, it's all about writing algorithms. So now people are writing algorithms so that you have the machine has the ability to store information, and also machine has the ability to think. So
that is true, sir, because
graduate, whether you like it or not, mathematics is the answer.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Insightful, something for everybody to think. So I think we can conclude our plenary discussion with that. I take this opportunity to say thank you very much, Mr. Nuwan Gamage, Mr. Rohan Pandita Koralage, Mr. Manon Pereira, and also Mr. Gihan Thalgodupitiya. Thank you very much, sir, for your valued contribution.
I would like to invite Mr. Gihan Thalgodupitiya, our Director of UNISTEM, to come on stage to present the tokens of appreciation to two of our panel members. Along with that, I would like to invite Mr. Manon Pereira and Mr. Rohan Pandithukoralage on stage to accept the token of appreciation which is presented by UNISTEM.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Nice meeting you. And nice for coming. See you again.
So, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have concluded the inaugural session of the IRCMS 2024. And after taking a small break, we would like to start the track sessions, where our students and fellow researchers will present their papers under various themes at 1:30 in the afternoon. And whoever the students with us today who are presenting papers, please meet Ms. Subhani De Silva before you go downstairs. Thank you.